Hello, welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be playing Dawn of Men, which is, I said about it last stream, and it's the best city builder I've played, at least like mechanic and gameplay wise. Start a new game. Let's go for an easy one. Here we can pick starting place. Maybe river. And we'll start nomads. The difference is that in settled you start with a couple of tents already, and in nomad you just start with people and resources. And I find it more customizable because you can pick your starting location. You're not set to the starting location that the game picked for you. And let's call it Happy River. This game, as you can probably guess from the mounts in the loading screen, is set in Stone Age. You start in like early Stone Age and pause immediately. And here's the research tree. So yeah, you start in Paleolithic age and you end in Iron Age. The game pretty much ends with discovering the miracle of steel. It's an interesting thing actually, because okay, I will come back to the mystery of steel. First, let's think about a good place to. Here's the edge of the map. We definitely do want to start near the river, like preferably like really, really close to the river, because our people will need to drink something, and since we don't have the technology to build wells, we're gonna have to go to the river, drink from the river. We don't even have the clay making. We don't start with clay making pottery, so we don't even have pots. They would literally have to drink from the river. This is a decent spot, but it's a bit hilly. This is a decent spot, but it has a problem. This is a good spot here. Or here maybe? Is it far away from the edge of the map? Not that far. Yeah, I think we will settle here. One more thing I'm gonna check is, yeah, that's actually one of like the biggest reason I would say why this game is the best city builder. This is like, I think it's called a primal view something. You activate it by pressing tab and it shows you all the resources. It highlights it. So there is some copper and some iron around here for later. There is a bit of flint for now. Yeah, I guess that will work. So, out of yeah, we don't have six, so we're gonna have to start with setting up some gathering zones. 6. Plenty more here. Up to 2 people. The number of people you assign, you click here is the maximum amount of people that can go into the zone at a time. There could be just one person going there, but there will never be more than 2 people assigned to the zone. Let's place another one here, and while we're at it, let's also make a flint gathering zone and be fishing. You have some fruit trees here, so we could find gathering zone in here. Well, fruits. And one on the other side of the river. Now we can I like to build my settlements in circles around like a yeah, around a campfire. And we will need stones for the fire. These ones will need this one, these ones. You need 2 stones here for the campfire. Find another rock. Probably not the river. There are people. Wasn't the starting zone somewhere around here? Oh yeah, here they are. Speed up. It's quite far from where they spawned, so it will take them some time to carry all the resources they started with. And here they are. They should start building soon. I will have to gather the sticks first, I think. Fence requires sticks and dry skin. Let's set up some things around here as well. The fence is a good thing. You have around animals and attachments. That's usually the UI I'm playing with. the animals shows you how many animals of each type you have. It doesn't show dogs, sadly, and how many faces in the do you have. We don't have the technology for animals. We can soon start domesticating dogs. Some similar thing with attachments. Shows you how many like different kinds of parts and stuff you currently have. And the defense panel here, you can set an alert, which makes everyone drop what they're currently doing and run to either the center of the settlement or the defensive zones if you have defensive really built, and you can open or close the gates if you have them built. Have time for a little bit. Another good thing in this game, well, the thing that makes it the best city builder I've played, is how you get research, so knowledge points. Is in most city builders, you have a building that generates you research points. We did play Captain of Industry on the channel, and it had this system. It had research labs which you needed to feed resources into to generate points. This game doesn't have anything like that. What it has instead is, go here, there's knowledge progress. And for doing pretty much anything in game, you gain research points. So, for example, if you gain more people in your settlement, you will get knowledge points. If you domesticate animals, you will get knowledge points. If you hunt specific types of animals for each for animals hunted of each type, you will get knowledge points. For producing resources, you will get knowledge points. The thing is that every milestone here, every next one gets higher. So, for example, raw meat here. Right now, we only need to gather 10 raw meat to gain a research point from that. But after that, after we get 10 raw meat, the next milestone will be something like gain 25 raw meat, and then it will be gain 100. And it will slow down, but at the same time, you're constantly covering new things, like you're researching researches, which allows you to create new things which you didn't craft before, so the milestones are low. But yeah, that's a very, very good system for city builders, where you get research by hold up, I got a spammer in the chat. Yeah. Oh, and they start building the tent. The building stages are also quite nice. You can really see how the buildings are. Yeah, I really like the system of research. Yeah. I I don't know of any other game that has a research system that gains you research from just playing the game. And like the usual way city builders go for that, and we just gain knowledge point from gathering sticks. But yeah, the usual way the research works in city builders. The problem with it is that the whole focus of the game becomes just grinding research. And in this game, you cannot grind research. You have to just play the game. It is an impossible system to gamify the fun out of. That's why I love it. Because we're all gamers, right? And there is this famous quote that given the chance, players will optimize the fun out of the game. The good thing about this system is that there is absolutely no way of optimizing the fun out of the research here. It's going at constant pace, pretty much. And also another interesting thing is that you can sometimes buy research. There will be traders coming to your settlement, and you can trade with them. And sometimes they will offer research, but it's really expensive. And of course, this is Stone Age basically, so there is no coins. There's barter trade on. We'll definitely get to the trading. We'll get there when we will get there. And your people will do all the jobs, so it's not like banished or like yeah. Actually, yeah, that is I think quite unique to this game as well. 'Cause usually, when you build a building, you assign a specific worker to the building, and uh, and that person will only do work at this building. In here, everyone can do every job, pretty much, as long as they have tools available to do it. But here you have this percentage here is a workload. So basically, right now, we have almost twice as many tasks to be done, and we have people available to do the tasks. That's why everything is so slowly. There is a lot of work to do. All the sticks to be gathered, all the flint, the fish to be fished. So yeah, let's speed up a little bit. And yeah, as you can see, right now we are blowing through research. Everything we do basically gives us research. But there is like not a lot of things we can do right now, so it will slow down. Also, there is there is a modded map pack on Steam Workshop, which I really like for this game. It's called 10,000 BC, and it makes the game slower and more realistic, I feel like. I thought I wouldn't go with it on stream here, because I feel like it would be better to just show off the game, and I will be able to show off more of the game. in standard mode. Because in 10,000 BC, I mean this stream is gonna be what, 2 hours long, roughly. So in 2 hours, we might be able to go to Mesolithic in 10,000 BC map, and like right at the beginning, like discover pottery, and probably that would be it. And in standard mode, we might be able to go to early Neolithic, like grab serial domestications, farming, and maybe thatching. Right, and everything that was set to build is built. So we can build another tent. Enough of them, everyone. And we still have resources. And by resources, I mean skins. Built, and we don't have storage slots left. Houses also come with some storage. We could build a storage hut, storage tent, but they're more expensive. They require more skin. And we have homeless people, so better to prioritize living tents first. And let's also build, actually, not build a tent, build a crafter. We can craft things. Also next to the crafter, let's build drying rack. We do have some food right now, and it's summer right now. All the rooting trees are rooting. Actually, we can go in here. There are like 2 service trees. There are blueberries here. There's nuts as well. Let's set up gathering zone in here as well. In these gathering zones, people will come here and gather resources automatically. You can also manually click on the tree until. Well, like if I set up a work area here for gathering, there is like, right now there are 3 resources gathered, and because we have the work area here, only 1 person and hence 1 task is consumed for it. If I did manually, it will be 3 tasks, 1 task for each gatherings. So it will try to assign 3 people gathering it. So it's good to prioritize it. If we really needed food like right now, I could go manually, tell people to gather food. Oh, and we know how knowledge works. We have enough knowledge for the first research. I think the best one to go for first is food drying, because another nice thing about this game, right, is that all resources spoil. So here we go. If we mouse over berries for example, these green bars here show how close these berries are to spoiling. And food drying allows us to build drying racks, which allows dry fish and so they spoil slow. And it is important because I'm pretty sure without drying racks, you will not be able to survive winter without hunting during winter. And that could be dangerous because your people can get hypothermia. I like to build those corridors. Build it here. Because people can walk under them. Anyhow, people also, yeah, before has started, people have needs. And yeah, there is temperature. If it gets too low, our people will get hypothermia. They will get sick, potential. Yeah, they will no longer be with us. They have health, food, hydration, temperature, stamina, rest, and morale. They're all pretty self-explanatory. The only weird one probably is morale, and you get they get it from praying. It will go down if tragic happens. But yeah, we would need some skins, so let's turn on the primal vision and look for gray ones. And here we have some mufflins. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. On the adults. They're pretty easy prey to catch. Because these donkeys, they could be quite fast. Oh yeah, and the color of the prey shows how easy they are to hunt. So dark green, like here, is a very easy prey. A bit lighter green is a bit tougher. Then it's yellow. Then it's orange. Orange ones are already quite dangerous. Some people might not survive the hunt from an orange animal. And red are like really dangerous. And most red, I think all red ones are actually could be aggressive. Yeah, right now, we are both hunting, but we also could be hunted. So some animals uh, are hungry can decide that we look like a decent lunch. And they cannot. In an early game, like we have 7 people, that's not a lot. If like a bit larger pack of wolves came and decide that we look like a decent lunch, we will probably become a decent lunch. And later on, when animals stop being a problem, you get raiders. And that's the very good thing about this game. Like it constantly scales up the difficulty. So, like with animals, right? Wild animals attacking your settlement is a problem in early game. But as soon as you start, because you're getting research, so as soon as you start dealing with wild animals effectively, no, anyway, get the milestone. These also give knowledge. Let's merge bone tools and start making them. Start making bifaces, which are like flint knives, and also spears and hunt bone hunters. So what I was, oh yeah, difficulty. So as soon as you start dealing well with animals and the difficulty starts coming down, you get a new spike of raiders, and the difficulty goes high again until you build like the walls. Then the difficulty spikes again. Then the raiders come with armor. It's like that with everything. So the game is constantly challenging. Okay, so we're not building anything, so let's build on this Intraya. We will need a lot of dry leather early game. Dried skins are a very important resource in early game, because that's what we use for building and also for warm clothing. Without warm clothing during winter, people. So it is very important. There is also light clothing, which we haven't researched yet, but it comes with tanning here, and make leather outfits. And they're not as important, but they are. Anyway, if we go to stats, we have welfare here. It shows like how the ambulance is going away. So yeah, welfare shows how well your people are doing, how healthy they are, how much food you have available, stuff like that. And then you have prestige, and light clothing increases your prestige as well as amount of shrines you have available for praying. That also increases prestige, and prestige makes your settlement more popular for immigrants and traders. In 10,000 BC mod, I was talking before, immigration lowered by a lot. Oh, and we have the first trader. Probably don't have a lot to trade with him. But yeah, every trader has a commission. It works the same way pretty much as the other game that the same developers made, is our planet base, I believe. But yeah, basically it goes low, medium, and high, and it shows how much more expensive the goods are gonna be to buy from them. So dry fish has a value of 1, and if you try to sell dry fish to them, it will give a trade value of 1. But if we want to buy dry fish from him, it will probably cost 2. Exactly. It has high commission. The second one will probably bring it to, I don't know, what it will be for. So yeah. So, do you want to buy anything? You could buy a bone. We don't really have anything to trade. I think we're gonna ignore him. But yeah, because it's a barter trade, if you have any overflow of the values, for example, if I wanted to buy a bone, sell 10 flint for it. There is like a 17 point difference between trade values, and that will be lost. Is don't have if you don't pick anything, I could round it up with example and something else. But if the trade value doesn't get used, lost. You need to at least match what you're trying to buy. But everything over that is gonna get lost. There are not really any kind of uh real currency. Some games have it, right? I can think of an example right. There, there, there definitely are games that don't really have currency per se, but something is being used as a currency. Like the grain was in most of history. It was called a barter trade, but it wasn't really a barter trade. Grain was pretty much the currency. And we can build another. Play our workload is pretty low. Once again, go for a little bit of hunting. And that's another like cool thing about this game. You always have something to do. If it starts getting slow, you can just look around, look for animals to hunt. Right now it's winter, so we don't want to hunt very far. We could hunt these donkeys here. Soon we will, yeah, in here, we will get megalithism, which will allow us to do something with these megaliths. They're scattered all around the map, and they're basically like huge stones, like menhirs that Obelix was carrying around constantly. And you can even build a Stonehenge. There is even usually milestone, because every map has these milestones, 10 of them. And usually one of them is, yeah, build a stone circle. That's a Stonehenge. Get a couple of research points from that. So when you build a Stonehenge on the map, you'll get not only research from actually building it, so you will get free knowledge from just building it, and then you will also get 2 more knowledge points from milestone. Monkey somewhere around here. Oh yeah, here it is, running away. I think it will run away. Or maybe not. Let's find it because it's quite wounded. That is for again. Oh yeah, and if you get stuck, you always get 1 knowledge point for surviving the winter. If you get into a slump where you just cannot get any knowledge points, you can progress further. You can just wait a couple of years, gather required knowledge. Keep slowing. Once again, we are low on water loads, so we can. Oh yeah, awesome. Ibex and reindeer. And other ibex. Yeah, I don't like how the storm slows down the game. If you have higher speed setup, if the storm comes in, it slows down the game to ×1 speed. Oh, and we have some immigrants. Now we have a population of 9. But yeah, storm is not really a, that big of a deal. The only thing it does, it has a small chance of striking someone with lightning. And as you can see, the storm just passed and nothing happened. It would be nice if they added like a fire mechanic to the game. So like the thunder could struck a tree and start a forest fire. I think that would be a nice addition to the game. It would make the storm a bit more interesting. But it might make the very early game, like this era we're in now, it might make it a bit too hard. It's not only are we a very easy snack right now for wild animals. Uh, if there was a fire, we don't really have a good way of dealing with that. Oh, and we once again have enough research points for something. Dogs, maybe. Yeah, let's research dogs. Dogs will help with hunting. We have enough white skins to build another tent. And let's also build a skin dryer. Every time I play this game, these early game tents really remind me of beginning of Assassin's Creed 3. And the village, what was the name? Rodo Hagedon or something like that. The main character. It reminds me of houses in there. Trader again. I don't think we. Yeah, we don't really have. We could get rid of the wooden harpoon. It's worse than the bone ones that we're making right now. We could sell it, but really have thing worthwhile. Yeah, I'll sell it and grab a bit of flint just to get rid of it. Because here in management you can set up limits, and yeah, it's actually bought at 33. So in here you can set up how much of every type of resource you want. If you have that amount available, people will not get assigned to automatically. They will not automatically get assigned to tasks to gather those resources. So because we sold the harpoon, um, right now we will not get another one. But like for 6 adults that we have, one harpoon is perfectly fine. Because that this number means the percentage of adults. So I think these, yeah, the clothing is set to a population total. I think if we increase it, no, it just that there was a way of Yeah, I thought there was a way of changing between the adult population and total population. Apparently not. And another reason. Dog trade. We have dogs right now, but they're not doing anything. Now we learn dog training. We'll allow the dogs, if we have any, to hunt with us. Usually when you research dog domestication, you get like dogs. Well, in general, and it's the same with all animals in the game. Uh, if you want to get an animal, you need to find a young one in the wild and tame it. And if you want to have dogs, you need to find young wolves. And it could be quite risky. Usually young wolves are with their parents in the pack. And the adult wolves, if they see you approach the young ones, they will attack. It's a bit easy if you want to get like goats to tame. If you tame mufflins, sheep. Oh yeah, mufflins are not aggressive. They will just... Oh! I see a tasty megaloceros in. I'm not sure if they will be able to hunt it because our workload is a bit high. Usually you want to do hunting when your workload is under 100, preferably like 50 or 60%. Because then it will allow multiple people to join the hunt. Oh, we have a doggo. Yeah, it's not that much of a problem right now because we're not hunting anything dangerous. But if we decided to hunt, I don't know, a mammoth, if we send just one guy hunt a mammoth, he not have very good chances of success. What if we had like 50% workload? That there is a chance that like half the camp go and hunt it. Okay, now we have enough space for people. No longer have those people. So purge them. Storage tents not only have more storage space. These normal tents don't have a lot, just four. Storage huts not only have more, but they also are better at preserving food. There's different kinds of buildings have like different preservation rates. I would call it. I'm not sure what this game would. It doesn't. Okay. Well, yeah, if the resources are stored in a tent. No. Let's sound the alarm. Maybe it will help. Oh, maybe. Yeah, and as you can see, wild animals are quite dangerous. Two wolves just came in and ate two other people. They were back to 7. And now all the rest of people will be sad because of that. And they will get a debuff to their morale as long as we don't bury them. We need to research funerary rites, funerary rituals, sorry. But the adults, the adult wolves, did they have children? That is a question. The ages. There is a dangerous looking pock of cave base here. Look, they don't try to attack us. There are rhinos here, but they're not really aggressive. There is a large cave hyena here. They don't look threatening now. Wolves have had that in children. Too bad. Hoping we could get some dogs from this situation at least. Probably like half of our population are children now, right? We have children and one elder. Pretty much exactly half of our population. Elders are still working. They are like a useful part of a community, but they will not do certain tasks like the heavy heavy lifting and stuff. But they will join hunting and things like that. They will do pretty much everything, but heavy hauling. I'm not sure if they will carry heavy loads carts though. Yeah, well, we now have enough knowledge for funerary rituals. That and build a burial mound. Where is it? The cemetery. Build it. outcome. We do need 3 rocks. Rocks are the easiest resource to get before you're able to build mining picks. You can pretty much only gather the rocks river or very small pile. These larger piles do require a pick. And each piles like that only have 1 stone. Also build opal. Like a little shrine to the gods. Yeah, religion was quite important for most. I would say it's still somewhat important. Not really that religious, but like it's like humans need a certain kind of community, sense of belonging, things like that, and I feel like religion is an easy way of building that. In general, I feel like well, a lot of the groups that we have, what we had in, they're gone now. Like when I was a kid, subcultures was a big thing. Called it like punk, emo, jokes, things like that. We don't have that anymore, really. And I feel like that's the reason why kids are inventing weird things these days. Yeah, I think the whole thing with um, multiple genders these days, it's I mean, it was a big topic like years back. But yeah, I feel like it all started because all of the normal groups that kids would get into back in the day that they just sort of dissolved to ether that no longer exists. So they invented like new kinds of groups, certain kinds of subcultures, and they stuck to that. So yeah, I feel like the uh, gender fluidity or whatever it's called. Um, I feel like that's just new age subcultures. Like back in my days, we had emos, and now we have genders, pronouns. I don't think it's a bad thing. I feel like it's a quite normal thing. But I would say that I don't quite like the fact that it's being pushed into everyone. Like back in the day, subcultures were never really about like um forcing people to anything. They were mostly about rebelling against norms, actually. So it wasn't like really telling people what to do. It was like people are not gonna tell me what to do. I feel like this part what got kind of distorted. It's like kids have this this thing in general, this push towards rebelling. Like you're not gonna tell me what to do, what to think. But never before was like them forcing others to accept or deal with that rebellion. I don't know how to tell properly. But yeah, that's what I think about the gender fluidity and lack of subcultures and lack of religion. Pretty much, religion also pretty involved these days. A lot less people are really. We don't really have. We don't really have groups in general. Like internet is an awesome thing, but it 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 did break the system. Because yeah, I feel like the internet is to blame for um for the fact that less people are religious and that subcultures were dissolved, that they're no longer a thing. The whole thing just sort of mushed together in a huge cauldron of the internet, and now we have just instead of like different flavors of things, now we have just a mess. Every flavors at the same time. And people are not really dealing with that well. I feel like that's the reason behind the uh, most societal problems these days. I feel like also with gender war, I feel like gender war is a thing because there are no longer male specific and female specific groups. Once again, just all got mushed together in the cauldron of the internet. And people are not doing well with being mushed together in the cauldron. Because like I often hear that that humans are social animals, and that's not really true. We're not social animals. Ants are social animals. Bees are social animals. We don't have a lot in common with ants or bees. Humans are more like pack animals. They are uh, evolutionally uh, designed is not a right word. Um, evolutionary did it might be a better word. Towards smaller groups, and like subcultures was that there were smaller groups, tightly bond small groups. Like if you look around you, right, you'll find that you mostly care about like small pack of people. You, you like create your own pack. You care about your family. You take care about your close friends. You don't really you don't care as much about some random Joe on the other side of the globe, or like even some random Joe on the other side of the country. Like if we compare uh, humans to ants, then like I would say country would be um like a nest of ants, and ants care the same about pretty much all members of humans. Don't care as much about some random Joe on the other side of the country as they do about their close friends and family, because it's a pack, a small tight group. Here we go for composite tools. Go for and no, I should have gone for yeah. In order to do tanning, I'm gonna have to build tanning tubs, and they require logs. I don't have technology to access. But yeah, small groups. Humans are pack animals. They are designed to not design. Sure, let's go with design. They are designed to live in small, tight-knit groups, and we don't have that anymore because we more and more live in an internet. We're trying to be social. We are trying to go against our evolution. And we're doing it more and more in general. We're going more and more against our evolution. And that's why we have a lot of problems in society. People are not really doing well with being away from nature. Like the saying, touching grass is a thing for a reason. For all of our history, we were tight with nature, we were tight with our small group. And like even look at like a larger group of some sort, like I don't know, a company you work at, or like a larger party maybe. If you look at larger groups, there will always be smaller groups within that large group. There will be packs in a bigger society, and that's how we always were. Like most of our history, we were in tribes, which were like tight knit communities, and even in those tribes, there would be like smaller communities, like packs of close friends and families. Yeah, families. Family bonds were important for pretty much the whole history. Now we're getting rid of families. Like in like medieval times and before that, it was normal for the whole family to live in the same house. Everyone had their role assigned. Now, like as soon as we're adults, we're trying to escape, go on our own. And it's weird. We're not really doing very well because of that. We're avoiding nature. We're avoiding family. We are avoiding everything that made us what we are today as a species. Like even if you look like I said that I liked building my settlements in the game in circles uh, around a campfire or other um, production building like that. So like mortar, for example. But yeah, it's not just random. Uh, most of like settlements, most settlements from these times. So, like if you look at Iron Age settlements, before that we don't really have very good archaeological records. Um, because you know tents like that don't really survive well. It's all biodegradable materials. In the Iron Age, we start seeing run houses, and they are also in game. You research masonry. Well, yeah. Basically, there would be this circular houses, not very high, with thatched roof made from straw or reeds or something. And that's pretty much the first archaeological evidence for housing that we have available. And if you look at settlements from that time, they would be set up like that, pretty much. Organically, when settlements were built organically, they would build like that. And uh, and that also comes back to the fact that we are in fact pack animals. Oh, lovely. Okay, I think he survived. Oh, this bear is angry. Making it calm down. Maybe it will leave us alone. But yeah, humans are pack animals, and this sort of neighborhood, that's pretty much what this is. Would be a pack. This would be a tight knit community. And then there would be this one is kind of full, right? So then there would be like another circle. Someone would build a tent like close to this community, but then other people would build close to it and build like another circle with another campfire. Are the birds gonna attack us? But the wolves are. Okay, mate, can you run to the settlement? Is that something you can do? Yep, that's lovely. Yeah, there would be another little circle which would form another neighborhood, another small tight-knit circle of people. And then the whole tribe would build from these kinds of neighborhoods, these kinds of circles. And this is how society should be. Now, what the hell is this bear shouting at? Oh, thank you, bear. You killed a wolf for me. Oh, you're so nice. Or you just ate dogs. That would be a thing. Yeah, these days researchers are finding. I'm like psychologists are finding uh, that the depression rates are going up, things like that are going up, uh, because people no longer connect really. Like we no longer really deal with neighbors. We became really individualists, especially in the West. It is I like it's not as much of a problem in Eastern communities, so like Japan or China, uh, or India, because they really have a very different culture to us. But in the West, we became really individualistic, and we became individualistic to a point where we don't want to deal with other people at all. And we are alone. And we thought we would do well with that. Like, why do we need other people? Well, like, now we are becoming lonely. There is a loneliness epidemic going on. This trader doesn't really have anything useful, does he? He does have sling making. I was saying about this before, that sometimes you get a trader with a technology, but as you can see, it has a value of 100, but if I want to buy it, it's 140. And I believe the most expensive thing I can sell him is a flint axe that has a value of 10. I have 14 of those. So yeah, we um, well, like those bones. Tell you one flint axe, and I will grab some. There we go. Also, I think we're creating many, that many axes. And yeah, and lack of religion in today's day also influences that. I I don't know, like I don't know much about religion, but like I know Christianity has a thing about loving thy neighbor, stuff like that, and in general, mm, I think all religions have this thing about respecting other people, which is a, a very basic first step to creating any kind of group. And if we don't have that, then no wonder we don't really have respect for other people now. And hence we are not creating groups. And hence we have loneliness epidemic. Everything comes back to the fact that we are fighting our basic instinct. We're fighting our pack animal side. And we should embrace it. We should embrace the fact that we are pack animals. It's not a bad thing. It's a bad thing to force wolves to act like ants. They're not ants. They're not built to be ants. They're built to be wolves. They should be wolves. That's how they thrive. That's how they thrive for ages. And now we're trying more and more to make wolves into ants. Anyway, back to the game. Let's build another. Let's build. Do you have something to add, chat? Like, I'm open for discussions. If you feel like I'm talking rubbish, feel free to criticize me. I like turtles. Okay, I just got in. Well, you are late, Jove. Well, yeah, I was just talking about how humans are pack animals and how the fact that we are not we're trying to avoid being pack animals. We're trying to be social animals is causing all the social collapse these days. COVID ruined it all. I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with that. Uh, I think it started way earlier. COVID just because Western society is being individualistic for a long time already. I think it started like pretty much after the war. And COVID just showed us how much we don't. COVID accelerated adult. Yes, exactly. Exactly. It showed people that are already individualistic how individualistic they could be. It got rid of a lot of human interactions. A lot of group activities were not allowed because of lockdowns, and um, and yeah. I was also talking before about how in my childhood there was a lot of groups. We have like subcultures at schools and stuff like that. So like in all larger groups of people, you have smaller groups that are like tightly knit together. And we don't have that anymore, really. We are trying to get rid of it. And I feel like the big reason for that is the internet. We had those separate groups that were like, I don't know. I would compare it to food, right? So you had a group of spicy foods, you had a group of like um, salty foods, then you have had a group of sweets, stuff like that, like different flavors of people, different flavors of groups. And what internet did is shoved them all in the same cauldron and made like a huge disgusting mush from it all. And because of that, we don't have groups right now, and we need those. Because like I was saying, we have pack animals, we need our packs. And now the internet is forcing us into becoming social animals, like ants or bees. Yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there's not a lot of social animals, is there? Like the only ones I can think of are ants and bees. I think there are some species of social wasps, but they don't have like very big communities. But other than that, I don't really, I can't think of any other social animals. Because like pack animals are very common in nature. Individualistic animals are also quite common. But there is not a lot of social species. So maybe even trying to be social animals is not a uh good way being. Like maybe there is a reason why there isn't a lot of social animals. Like I would theorize that there could be a case in, well, let's see, no workflow right now. Take a pack of animals. This little make Osiris. Yeah, I feel like maybe it's not like um it's survival of the fittest. Yeah, exactly. Um, because I feel like it wouldn't work with bigger animals. Because like social animals will literally sacrifice themselves for the good of the hive, right? Like ants are building bridges out of their own bodies. Bees, if the hive is attacked, they will surround the attacker and wiggle their bodies to create heat, and a lot of them would uh, just cook along with the attacker. So yeah, I feel like that might not work with bigger animals because there is more investment into a larger animals. Like you don't need to you don't need a lot of food to grow an ant, but you do need a lot of food to grow a larger animal. So it's more expensive to sacrifice a larger animal. Also, like the birthing process, I think it's more it's harder on an animal if it's larger. Because like there is a reason why small animals like ants or spiders or like pretty much any kind of insects, they're laying like hundreds of eggs. And if you look at birds, which are also laying eggs, so let's compare chickens to chickens. Okay? Uh, they're just laying like a couple of eggs. In nature, I think they're laying like around 3 eggs a year. Because we kind of broke chicken biology for our own benefit. Because like chickens in the wild, they evolved in a very interesting habitat where mm, I don't remember what plant that was exactly, but there was a lot of this certain kind of plants that that was just growing, minding its own business and not doing much for the whole year. There was not a lot of food for most of the year, but at one time during the year, they all dropped a lot of seeds, and like a lot of them. And chickens adapted to it, and uh, their bodies evolved to lay eggs when there is a lot of food available. And in the wild, they would lay like around 3 eggs during the time that these plants were dropping a lot of seeds. But we got our greedy hands into the process and decided that, hell, we can just keep feeding them. We can extend this period of a lot of food for the whole year. And now chickens are laying for the whole year. If they have enough food available. Lovely, another wolf attack. Yeah, let's one of those wolves. One, a young one, so capture it for to my dog. Go people, take revenge. Come on, focus. Can't allow wolves to just stack on us randomly. I declare war on mind. Oh, here we go. Here's our raiding party. Oh, here they are. Here we go. That's right. They're not gonna be as snacks. So yeah, that was my rant for about human evolution, pretty much. Or more like social evolution, actually. Actually, there is a cool game about ants called Empire of the Undergrowth. A very cool, um, very simplistic RTS, but not simplistic in a bad way. I just feel like I feel like it's a very good entry point to the RTS genre, and also maybe for someone who doesn't want to deal with all the micromanaging of RTSs. And I feel like the systems in this game work quite well for what it's about, which sense. I could maybe play it next week, Tuesday. Oh yeah, also I have an announcement. On the Saturday stream, there will be no gameplay. I will be doing a community event actually. I thought it would be nice if hold up, let's not grab sling making, let's save pottery. I thought it would be a nice idea to do a world building challenge where I would start building a world, uh, fantasy world, and the challenge in that would be that everything you type into chat, I need to include in the world building. And I'm thinking like mm, after the message comes in, like I get like 5 minutes to include whatever was typed into chat into the world. I think it could be a fun idea. Yeah, I did some world building, so I did have some experience in that. And I could try making something sensible, but uh, my chat will probably not make a very sensible additions to it. So I'm interested in contraption that will come out of it. Hey, could be fun. Could be funny. And if that works, maybe I will make a more common occurrence out of it. Maybe not exactly world building challenges, but like um I've seen quite a common thing on YouTube and also some live streaming services is um making cars in automation uh from chat suggestions. So that works. We could do that as well. I can make chat build a car with me and see what kind of crazy contraption we will build. And also, like I don't know, we could have some like writers maybe in the chat so that they could maybe learn a thing or two about world building. Because I am very particular about my world buildings. I I really like my worlds to be immersive. I don't like to blame things on random magic and stuff. That's why I like sci-fi world buildings because you can actually make it fairly realistic. Look into the research that is going on right now and what scientists have ideas for, implement that. Look at similar situations and in the past because the history loves to repeat itself. So in most cases, about most situations, you can find a fairly decent analog in the past. It's very likely that the results of that situation will also be quite similar. For example, I'm not gonna actually compare this situation to like these days. I'm just gonna say that I feel like a similar situation is happening around now. Well, like I would like to talk about the fall of Bronze Age, because like there is this huge hole in history. I was actually researching because I'm building a pen and paper RPG based in Iron Age. I was doing a lot of research about Bronze Age and Iron Age. And if you go into the topic, you'll find that there is a huge hole between Bronze Age and Iron Age. Like, you have a lot of archaeological evidence of like early Bronze Age civilization, like Mesopotamia, Egypt, um, a couple more. But yeah, like all those civilization around the Mediterranean mostly. And then all of a sudden, most of them go silent. Like if you look at Iron Age, there is nothing about like Mesopotamia and and all the other civilizations. It's pretty much just Egypt. And like historians were looking into that because like that is just weird. Like all those civilization just poofed out of existence. They just disappeared. So there, in some archaeological evidence, you can find mentions of sea people coming from the west, and um, the leading theory about that is that the civ that took over just erased the previous one. Mm, not exactly. The leading theory about that is that there was a volcano eruption in the west of Mediterranean, so probably Sicily or something, somewhere around that. Mm. And what happens when the volcanoes erupt is they release a lot of ash into the air. So what happened is the ash went into the air and the crops didn't get enough sunlight, and there was a huge hunger in the west of the Mediterranean. And the refugees from those civilizations moved east to a different civilization. There was so many of them that they went to the civilization to the east, and they didn't have enough food to feed all of them, so they also starved. And even more now, people moved east, and there was this huge snowball of refugees going from west to east of the Mediterranean and causing hunger in their wake. And um, Egypt prepared a trap for them on the entrance of the Nile River, like the mouth of the Nile River, and they stopped them. But the snowball just wiped all the civilization uh, on their path. So yeah, it wasn't really the civ that took over just erased the previous one. Because that would be just conquest, and that wasn't really that. Oh, cave lions, lovely. Oh, that wasn't very cave lion. Usually cave lions just wreck. Like cave animals in general in this game are deadly. Cave lions, cave hyenas, cave bears. If they attack, that's usually nothing. That went pretty well. Oh yeah, a better example of the civ that took over just to raise the previous one would be Rome. They raised pretty much. They raised, or they didn't really raise like that. That's also the thing. With conquest, usually it's not like a full erasure. It's there usually is some kind of adopting, because you have like if you look at, definitely when you were learning about history, you notice that and you probably learned also that Greek gods are very similar to Roman gods for some reason. And that's not only Greece. Um, Rome in general, when it conquered a civilization, they usually adopted their gods into their pantheon to make the conquest and adoption of the conquested people a bit easier. So there usually are some signs of a civilization that was taken over. Quite often they would have their own type of currency as well, and it's also you can see that with Rome conquests. The areas that were a bit further away mm, from the Rome itself, like the capital, they usually had their own type of currency, which could be exchanged for Roman coins if they needed to trade with Romans. So yeah, if there if that would be a case that there was just like some huge sort of civilization that just took over, there would be some signs of that, especially if there were large civilization like major empire, and some of them were. You're selling sling making. Sling make. I don't like slings. That's the thing. Actually, good. Buy those logs. do I want to give for that? Let's give you a flint axe. It will grant. Cause yeah, we have leather making. So much into ranting that I forgot about leather. So yeah, I just set up a gathering zone for tannin, because that's actually how you make skins leather in real life as well. Tannins are compounds found in certain plants, mostly in bark of certain kinds of trees, and you use those compounds to treat leather. So I'm pretty sure it for getting rid of bacteria. So the process would basically be panning it in that. I'm pretty sure it's treated in urea as well. So, back in like primitive time, they would actually use urine. So leather makers had an opinion of being really smelly. That's a true historical fact. But yeah, you would treat it with tanning fluid, and then you would stretch it and dry it. And that's how you make leather. These days, the process probably involves way less urine. They probably use some artificial compounds that are less smelly. Oh, area of flint exhausted. Where can I... Here, so flint, there's plenty of... And also, from interesting history facts, do you know Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland? The character is based around a disease that was called a Mad Hatter disease. And it was a disease very specific to hat makers. Because to make hats, they were using mercury. And the hat makers eventually got mercury poisoning, which apparently made them mad. So yeah, interesting fact. Historical. We're playing a historical game. Do I have any more interesting historical facts? Yeah, I was hoping we would get to thatching. So I can talk about rant houses. Well, I don't think I'm gonna go that far. I think we're gonna finish the stream at pottery. Well, for a lot of history, houses were round. Like with tents, it doesn't really matter that much. But like later on, when they became when they started making houses from what was this thing called? It wasn't thatching. Thatching is what you use for the roof. I don't remember the name for that, but basically, the after the tents, they would build houses from wicker, but between poles, basically like a wicker fence, just really tight one. And they would use mix of mud, straw, animal feces, and lime, I think. And they would make it like a paste from it, and they would cover the fence with it, like the wicker fence. And that's how they built walls before they used rocks and mortar. And they would build roundhouses. Hold up, I could actually do it. Let's go all pirate software. So they would build a roundhouse with one large pole in the middle, and from the side it would look like that. It would be short walls and really steep high roof, and the pole in the middle was supporting the roof. And that's how the houses were built for a really long time. After they built the houses from the wicker, it was like poles. There was all wicker woven between them. They would do the same with stones, and there is a very simple reason for that. It's because the roof here was the fastest and the cheapest thing to build. Because you could just build it from anything, from straw reeds, like very easily accessible materials. And it was very easy to build. So they built houses like that for most of history. And that's why we have alarms. They're another wolf one. Yeah, the alarm makes everyone drop everything they're doing and gather in the middle of the settlement. So if the wolf decides to make one of our people a snack, then they would have to deal with all of one-on-one, they might not have a very good chance, especially if they're a child. But even if they're adults, they only have like a couple of slots for equipment, and they might not have anything useful. For example, they might have just a biface, which is a very primitive knife. It's basically a sharpened piece of flint. So yeah, a sharpened rock that's basically a size of your fist. Not a very good weapon against a wolf, I would imagine. I mean, it's definitely better than just fist fighting it. But in general, it's not the best weapon. It's much better to an actual weapon like a spear, or hell, even an axe. Because an axe is considered a weapon. Bring pickaxe as well. We'll go to help, and into tools, and we can. Yeah, it does have fighting, so it could be a weapon. All tools have these stars, which shows how effective they are. So an interesting thing in the game is that not all new technology are actually an upgrade. So, for example, here you have copper tools. And copper tools have exactly the same efficiency as flint ones. So you might think, why would I want to, or no, I'm actually, yeah, I am right. Oh, sure. So copper knife has 2 stars, and flint knife also 2 stars, yeah. So you might think, okay, so why would I make copper tools then? Like, what's the purpose of that? And you'll probably find that copper is way more common resource. We have copper here, quite a bit of it. We have copper here, copper here. We have plenty of copper, but there is not a lot of flint around. And we have exactly the same situation again when you come to the Iron Age, because iron tools again have same efficiency as bronze ones. And once again, you might think, why would I make iron tools? And the thing with that is that right here we actually have quite decent. We have 2 tin deposits, but tin in general is a very rare resource in the game, and not only in the game, in real life as well. And there are archaeological evidence from Bronze Age that tin was pulled from miles. It was like the most important good during the Bronze Age. Like pretty much all the Bronze Age empires, all the civilization in Bronze Age got their tin, make bronze from, I believe, 2 mines only. Just 2 places exported tin. Because copper is a very common resource. I mean, not very, but it is quite a common resource on Earth. Tin is not very much. And then iron is the most common resource. uh, on Earth. Good, nothing interesting. And also, I was supposed to talk about a miracle of steel at the beginning of the stream, and I feel like now is a decent time to get into that. So there is this famous myth about miracle of steel that people during Iron Age could not figure out how to make steel, and that is not entirely true, because steel was actually being used for almost as long as the iron was. The thing is that in the beginning, in the Iron Age, uh, when they smelted iron, they would sometimes accidentally, by trying to make iron, they would make bits of steel, and some blacksmiths just would gather those beads of steel, because the it looks distinctive enough to notice that there is something different about the material. You can notice steel in an iron block. Steel is like shiny in general. So yeah, some blacksmith during the Iron Age would gather that and make some high grade tools and maybe weapons from that. The whole miracle of steel thing is more about learning how to reliably make steel. Discovering an actual repeatable process for making steel. It's not like steel was discovered then, more like they discovered a way of not making it accidentally, or they discovered a way of making it on purpose. And it would still take quite a bit of time before they actually developed ways of creating different types of steel. Oh yeah, and also, while we're on the topic of steel, I could also talk about katanas. Because katanas have this myth around them that they are like the best, the sharpest of swords. They're just the best swords of them all. And that's not really entirely true. It is kind of. It's not like I'm bashing katanas on purpose, but like the the actual awesome thing about steel, about katanas, is that it's a it's a very good show of human ingenuity, I would say, because at the same time in Europe had access to a lot of good grade iron to make good grade steel. So they would make all, or maybe not all, but most of military equipment in Europe was made from high grade proper steel. At the same time, Japan didn't really have a lot of access to a high grade steel. So let's do pirate software mode again. Oh. So they made katanas from different kinds of metals. So you had the blades, and like if you look at them from the side, like hey, that's a katana, right? They would use good quality steel to make only the edge, the part that actually is cutting stuff. Then they would use a bit worse kinds of steel around it, like the milled type of steel. And they would surround it with the weakest of steel, which was the most common. So most of katana blade was actually made from the poorest quality of steel, but that didn't really matter. It was in the parts of the blade that weren't used, or at least weren't supposed to be used. And they adapted their fighting style. Is if you compare Japanese sword fighting styles to European ones, they are really, really a lot different. Let's hunt those cave lions before they hunt us. It's almost like because in European sword fighting styles, you would parry a opponent's sword with sharp part of the blade. While in Japan, it's very rarely used. They were learning how to parry with the sword using their flat, which was made from soft metal. So they were using a fighting style that preserved the most crucial and the most valuable part of the blade. And that part is quite ingenious. That is the part that is actually awesome about katanas. How they used a very rare and valuable resource in a way that's not detrimental to the final product. Katanas could cut and could behave in general. They could be used in the same effectiveness as European swords from the same time that were made from high-grade materials. And once again, that is an awesome part about katanas. They were not sharpened in European swords. They were not magical. They did not cut through rifle barrels, like there are myths about. No, but they are an ingenious part of technology of the past. And on that note, I think we will discover pottery. Now we can crack water and carry it in pots. And I think we'll end the stream on that.